So I'm not sure how well you can hear this. There's a little squeak that comes and goes. I've listened to the various pulleys and, you know, on the idler pulley I changed a couple of months ago. And how I listen to them, I put a hose up to my ear and, you know, on the different components, like the air conditioner, power steering pump, alternator, and I don't seem to hear the squeak coming from them. And after a little bit of looking on the internet, it sounds like it might be the belt tensioner. So preemptively I'm going to change that and see if this little squeak goes away. Okay, well, I'll get a couple of these pieces out of the way, this cover, the breather hose, etc., and get right to it. So the throttle body cover just comes off with 3 little bolts. You might have Phillips head screws. This one has, I think they're like 8mm bolts. The breather hose is loosen off the 2 hose clamps, pull that tube out, and pop out the little, I don't know what you call it, the little Christmas tree clasp that pops in through that hole. And that kind of opens up the space. This is the piece I want to change. So first thing I'm going to do is get in there with a 3/8 ratchet and loosen off the tensioner, remove the belt. Given that the ratchet's just a little bit too short, I clamp on a set of vice grips and it gets turned counterclockwise. It's a little tight down there. Oh, I think I just about had it. Okay. See if that takes the tension off it. Come on. There, the tension's off it. Off the belt. I replaced this belt not long ago, so when I did the idler pulley. And it doesn't have any play in it. Spins freely. Alternator seems okay. Looks like there's a, I think it's going to be a 13mm bolt. 13mm, 1/2 inch, same thing. We're pretty close. Just put a little wrench snipe on this so you can get a bit of leverage. One site said that these are torqued to 35 foot-pounds. Came off pretty tight, so let's see what it feels like going back on. There's just not quite enough room in there to get a socket and ratchet. Not quite yet. And I still can't get it with my fingers. go. And it's out. There's a little play in it. Little play and a little bit of noise. I bought this aftermarket one for, I think it was $68. Ford wanted I think $100 for this. Everything looks to be orientated pretty much the same. A little less casting around the pulley end on this replacement one versus the Ford. The bolt fits. Well, let's pop it back in and see if that noise went away. I'll take a minute and get it into place and tighten it up. You saw it come out, so it goes back in virtually the reverse of that. Maybe show you here. So here's the bolt hole where the bolt goes in, and then there's a little indent or detent where this locating pin will fit into. So you want to get that in the right spot, and then thread the bolt in and tighten it back up. So I was able to get my torque wrench ratchet on. Couple of online sites called for 35 foot-pounds. My torque wrench is in inch-pounds, so multiply by 12 and that comes out to about 420 inch-pounds. But I think I'm going to err on a little safety and only go to 30 foot-pounds. Yeah, that feels about what it felt like when it came apart, with about the same length of the wrench and then a little snipe. So don't want to over torque it because it's steel bolt going into an aluminum block or mounting hole. Yeah, now I guess it's to get the belt on and then take the tension off and then fire it up and see if it still goes squeak squeak. Luckily I got this handy little diagram for the 3, 2.3 and 4 liter. So okay, so over that one, over that one. Come over those two. So it's over the water pump, down and around the crank, comes back up over outside the belt tensioner, over the alternator, and then it'll go under this idler pulley once I get the ratchet back into the leverage spot. I don't know how much you can see here, but I've taken the tension off. Hopefully get it under this. Under the idler pulley. Well, it kind of looks like it's... Let me get this out of here. Oh, it's on the tensioner properly. Seems to be sitting over all square and true, and oh no, it's out, it's off on this a little bit. See if I can zoom in. So I'm going to back the tension off a little bit and get that sitting properly on the pulley. Then I'm going to put the breather hose back on and fire it up and see if the squeak's still there. Okay, so it's just a matter of slipping the hose back over the air box where the MAP sensor is. MAF sensor, mass sensor. And tighten up the two hose clamps. Pop this breather tube back in. And this little Christmas tree type wire support pops back into the hole. Okay. Well, that didn't take too long, so we'll fire it up and see if it still squeaks and see if I wasted $68. Well, the belt appears to be running true. And I'm not hearing that chirp or that squeak or a little bit of a grind, whatever it was. Yeah, there's a little bit of play in the old tensioner. Spins easy enough. I'll maybe try taking it apart and see if I can just pick up a new bearing or a new wheel, new pulley, and keep it as a spare. Yeah, well, I guess that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed some of this. Maybe it helped somebody out there. So just a little more on this. My buddy just popped in, he's a mechanic, and I showed him this, and he said it shouldn't spin that freely. There should be a bit of resistance, a little bit of noise, and there is a little bit of play, so I'm just do a little post-mortem on this, and if it's just a matter of buying a pulley or a bearing, Yeah, maybe I'll pick up another pulley and put this back together and just keep it as a spare. Then again, you know, I probably won't have to replace that one, hopefully, for another 150,000 kilometers. Alright, well, that's it for now. See you later.